Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thank you very much for attending the classes. So we will start with the beautiful subject, that is wrong password to happiness. So everybody is seeking of happiness. So we will, but they do not know how to enter the right password. Just like, you IT, when you are logging into computer, there is a password protection. So you should know your password. If you do not know password, it will throw the exception, wrong password. So unauthorized password. Therefore, we should know that today topic is wrong password to happiness. As everybody is seeking happiness in this material world, from Brahma to a small ant, but they do not know how to become happy. They do not know, they enter the wrong password. So what are the wrong password? So we can go through the things like what are the happiness. If you think that this entire Bhagavatam is addressing the same issue, just like recently we had Narsingadev Chaturdashi. So Hiranyakasipu, what is the meaning of Hiranyakasipu? This particular Narsingadev chapter, Canto 7, and whole 10 chapter, entire 10 chapter has been invested, dedicated for this Narsimha and Prahlad Katha. So Sukadev Goswami purposefully invested the 10 canto as compared to even Rasapanchadhyaya, which is the highest goal, 10 chapter. Why? Because unless we know that what is our faults, what is our fault, what is our predicament, what is the solution for that, we cannot enter into the bhakti at all. There is no question of going to the jurisdiction of bhakti. So this Hiranyakasipu, just like Hiranyakasipu, Hiranya means gold, Kasipu means bed, soft bed. So Hiranyakasipu means everybody is a representation of Hiranyakasipu. Everybody is looking after this money. Once they get money and they want happiness and gratification, this is soft body, soft bed, Kasipu means. So this particular subject matter also is very, very important. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada has given a maximum number of lecture, very extensively. And this is a favorite subject of Srila Prabhupada, Canto 7. But we just, it may be a one-day affair for the neophytes. They come and, celebrate the things. But for those who are advanced, they repeatedly read that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to go to Tota Gopinath when he was there last 18 years in Puri. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, every day he goes to the places called Tota Gopinath, where the Gadadhar Pandit resides. And he used to hear this Canto 7. Because every one of us is seeking for happiness. Everyone seeking for happiness. We want a permanent happiness, just like Hiranyakasipu. He was undergoing 10,000 celestial year to get this immortality, without knowing that this is impossible. So he was trying to that, so that permanently I want to enjoy. But that is not possible. So all of us, from Brahma to Ant, we are seeking for happiness because we are spirit soul, and inherently, intrinsically, we are enjoy seeking spirit, Sachidananda Vigraha. Somehow and other, we are engaged in this material body. We are in a very existential dilemma, disharmony, dissension. Therefore, our so-called plan for happiness in this material world is baffled. So let us know that what kind of happiness usually this conditioned souls is looking for. Let's go for first is family life. Usually everybody likes the family life. They think that, oh, this family life gives happiness, So let us know these beautiful verses from Bhagavatam. There's a beautiful verses from Bhagavatam regarding this happiness, how we should know that this happiness we are seeking is worthless. There's a beautiful conversation between Prabhuda and the king. So here the king is asking to Prabhuda, that King Nimi is asking to Navajogendra. So, oh great sage, please explain how. I will share this. It's not share, I think now. I will share the screen now. So you can see here my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So here the beautiful question has been asked by the Prabhu, the Saranimi, that King Nimi said, "Oh great says, please explain how even a foolish materialistic can easily cross over the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord, which is always insurmountable for those who are not self-controlled." So this is a very good question has been asked, because everybody is now here struggling in this existence, struggling for existence in this material world, and they do not know how to cross the illusory energy. They are captivated by Maya. They have no idea that how to get out from this insurmountable Mama Maya Durataya. This Durata, the Maya is, Krishna says, Mama Maya Durataya, chapter 7, text 14, Bhagavad Gita. So it is very difficult, insurmountable. And he's asking for the benefit of all these people, conditioned soul in this material world, how they can easily cross the illusory energy of the Lord. Because every living entity do not know due to ignorance. Our material existence necessarily means that it is avidya, the existence of ignorance. So how to come out from this ignorance? That is the solution. Bhagavatam is addressing right from the chapter 1 to chapter 12, 12, that canto 1 to canto 12, addressing the issue that how we can get out from this illusory energy of the Lord. So in this beautiful, to answer this question, the Prabhuda Uvacha, so he has given a very beautiful answer. The Prabhupada said, accepting the roles of males and females in human society, the conditioned soul unite in sexual relationship, that they constantly make material endeavor to eliminate their unhappiness, unlimitedly increase their pleasure. But one should see that they inevitably achieve exactly the opposite result. In other words, their happiness inevitably vanishes as they grow older. Their material discomfort increases. The first thing we are talking about, the wrong password. This is the wrong password. What is that? Family life. We are thinking that the family life will give us the the happiness, but here this Srimad Bhagavatam is very outrightly rejected this rejected this one, this proposal, this plan that your family life will give the pleasure. Because the family life begins with this when the male and female, they united together and they're trying to expand their happiness. They want, as soon as they are united by the north, they immediately wanted a house, they wanted children, they want to maintain their prestige, and so many, so and so forth. They expanded their illusory relationship, but and they're trying to be happy, but it is said that it is they constantly make material endeavor to eliminate unhappiness, unlimitedly increase their pleasure, but one should see that inevitably achieve exactly opposite result. Family life, always there's a problem, pin pricking problem, family life. So to maintain your children, maintain your, you to work hard to maintain your family, and they're trying to happy, but they could not get the happiness. Every time there inevitably there is something will come and it vanishes the happiness. And when you do grow old also, we will be invalid to take the advantages of this happiness, to enjoy even senses. So in this way, the family life has not been, I mean, is a wrong password. Not only that, there is in this regard also, there is other verses, it says that the same thing, that how this family life is very precarious, Brahmaji is very nicely saying regarding the um, family life. My dear Lord Krishna, until people become your devotee, their material attachment, desire remain thieves. Their homes remain prison. Their affectionate feeling for their family members, the food cycles. The happiness we are deriving, everybody is deriving from the family. It is just like a prison actually. You are entangled, you are knotted. They say that the wedding ring is a very smallest handicap actually. Sorry, handicap. It bind you, and their affectionate feeling for their family member remain foot shackles. It's just like you are imprisoned. You have a foot shackles and you are prisoned. Similarly, family life, like, because you cannot get out. Prahlad Maharaj is also saying same thing. Whenever we are celebrating some, celebration of Narsimha appearance and all, try to read this verse, try to read this canto, try to understand it. Simply going for one day fasting and doing all the things, that is good, but that is not better. That is not the best. If you do not understand why the Rasya Dev come, what is the teaching of Prahlad Maharaj, then we cannot get the knowledge, then you cannot get the renunciation, vairagya. Vidya will not come without hearing, without reading, without understanding. Everything becomes so sentimental, superficial. So Prahlad Maharaj is very nicely telling these beautiful verses. When his father is asking, so what did you learn from your Gurukul? So Prahlad telling, the sadhumanya asura varya dehina. Every devotee who is trying to preach, try to memorize these verses, very, very important verses. Prabhupada repeatedly, use this verses. The sadhumanya asura varya dehinam sada samudigna diham asada grahat hitvatma patam griham andakupam vana gotayad dharim asrayat. So-called family life, the real thing is that Prahlad Maharaj replied, O best of the Asura, king of the demons, as far as I have learned from my spiritual master, any person who has accepted a temporary body, temporary household life, is certainly embarrassed by the anxiety because having fallen in dark well where there is no water but only suffering. That is the issue, that they are thinking that this is the right password, but they do not know it is the wrong password to happiness, because you have accepted the temporary household life. It is temporary, transient in nature. It can be abruptly or it can be naturally be disconnected or disrupted. And because of this family life, we are always embarrassed by anxiety. I want this, I want this, because the family maintenance is not easy. And it is considered a tantamount to be, according to Prahlad Maharaj's version, it is tantamount to be what? Falling. It is like a falling in a dark well where there is no water, but only suffering. Dark well means there is a slim chance of rescue because nobody will see you. And only suffering because there is no water even. You may survive for a few days, but no water, you will anyway die. So that is the sum and substances of family life. And everybody trying to be derive happiness. But Bhagavatam is rejected. One should give up this position, go to the forest. More clearly, one should go to Vrindavan, where only Krishna consciousness is prevalent. So thus take shelter of Supreme Personality of God. Beautiful, beautiful verses from Prahlad Maharaj to Father Hiranyakashipu. He's telling Hiranyakashipu, we never say my father, Asura Bharyam, the best of Asuras. Because the Asuras are always after this Hiranya and Kashipu, money. Everybody, whole modern civilization is running behind these two things, Hiranya and Kashipu, money and sex life or sense gratification, uncontrolled, indiscriminate sense gratification. Is rejected here. Prahlad Maharaj telling, my father, no, he's the great of Asuras. This is not, this is suffering position. You do not know that. You are thinking this is good, oh, family life, but all of a sudden everything will be scattered, disrupted, everybody will be vanished. So this is not the actual, happiness. We are trying to be happy in this material world, in by family life, that is rejected. Then we can go to the some other things of happiness, but I can show you little verses, the beautiful verses. If you go to the purport of that, beautiful purport. Prabhupada, Hiranyakashipu thought that Prahlad, being nothing but a small boy with no actual experience, might reply with something pleasing but nothing practical. Prahlad Maharaj. But nothing practical. Prahlad Maharaj, however, being an exalted devotee, had acquired all the quality of education. This is a beautiful verses. Everybody should know that. It's 5:18, Canto 5. Jasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarve gunesh tatra samasati suraha paruva bhaktyasa kuta mahadguna manorothena asati dhavatapari. Immediately you see that is a devotee or non-devotee. Devotee means always endowed with good qualities. Automatically they will get the good quality. Non-devotee cannot have good quality. They may present you, how are you, what's going on, what's up, you're looking good, all these so-called formalities address, but they are not, because they are not, their heart is not pure. Only by devotional service the heart is pure. Therefore the devotees here, Shastra says, they are endowed with very good qualities. Prabhupada is writing that so-called educated philosopher and scientists who are simply on the mental platform cannot distinguish between what is actually Sat and Asat. Temporary. The Vedic injunction is Asotoma Sadgamaya. Everyone should give up the platform of temporary existence and approach the eternal form. That is our thing. Human life is meant for that. Asotoma Sadgamaya. Murtyama Amrita Gamaya. To come to immortality. Not by the materialistic way Hiranyakashipu is trying. Materialistic way of doing austerity and trying to, I cannot kill by this, I cannot by kill that. No, this is not the way of going to Amrita Gamaya or Sadgamaya. That is wrong thing. Therefore he was vanquished. How to go, we will come to know that later. Simply by surrendering to the Lord, just like Prahlad Maharaj surrendered to the Lord. So, so in this way we can go. So here it is saying that there's a beautiful verses in purport also. We can go to these verses. This is Sukadev Goswami is very nicely explained. This is Shrutta Badini Rajendra. See, this is the materialistic life. They are not interested. So they are interested in all sense gratification. A person who are materially engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth, have many subject matter for hearing in human society, but they are not interested in spiritual thing. Class means everybody absent. They do not want to hear. Whole Bhagavatam is all about hearing. Bhagavatam is evolved when its protagonist, Parikshit Maharaj, a death-bound king, is caused to die within 7 days. Is fasting in a Ganges to find out the solution, how to become immortal. A young devotee is explaining him, is teaching him that how to become immortal by process of hearing. Sroteva kirtitya smarteva akutabha ichhata akutabhayam. Simply by hearing process, but nobody interested to hearing. There's so many verses. The hearing is most important part of the thing. If you are not hearing, you cannot do any other activities. Even chanting also cannot be perfected. Prabhupada said that. Hearing is very, the devotional begins with hearing. So we should hear that. Hear Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is very fast. So we are continuing our things. So in one of the beautiful verses in this canto also, it is saying that how a family life is thinking. So Sukadev Goswami is very nicely, very beginning of the beginning of his address to Parikshit Maharaj, he was telling Dehapatya Kalatri Dasu Atma Sanyasu Asutapi Tesam Pramatha Nidanam Paschanapi Na Paschanti. Person devoid of Atma Tattva do not inquire into the problem of life. Being too attached to fallible soldier like body, children, wife, although sufficiently experienced, they still do not see their inevitable destruction. That is the family life. They are thinking they want to become happy. But they do not know that this is all transient. Inhabitable destruction is there. Although sufficiently experienced that my grandfather died, my great grandfather died, still they are so much, attached. They are thinking that, my soldier is my wife, my children, my society. They will save. No, they cannot save you. Prahlad Maharaj exactly saying in 7:9:19 that what is that verse? Balasya neha pitara nastinga. Oh Nastinga Dev. If anybody who neglect you, they cannot be saved. You cannot do anything for them. How it is possible? Just like a mother and father, they want to protect the child, but child is getting fever and then and there, child die also. A doctor want to, save the patient. Patient dying. A boat want to rescue a drowning man. He there down when they are drowning. We cannot do anything. Nobody can escape from the death. So this materialistic person, he who is very absurd in thinking that I got the right password to happiness and family life, but he has no idea the danger of family life. Danger of family life. There are innumerable verses is there, but we might not have time. So this is beautiful verses, how a family life is in precarious situation, but he does not know about that. Narada Muni is explaining this beautiful verses. My dear king, please search out that deer who is engaged in eating a grass in a very nice flower garden along with his wife. That is the exactly thing. Everybody is enjoying his wife. And that deer is very much attached to his business. He is enjoying the sweet singing of bumblebees in his garden. Just try to understand his position. He is unaware that before him is a tiger, which is accustomed to living at the cost of another flesh. Behind the deer is hunter, with threatening to pierce him with a sharp arrow, that the deer's death is imminent. See, this is family life. We are enjoying with our family children, but we do not know at any time death comes and disrupted everything. Even though it doesn't come, abruptly, it comes naturally. Every sunrise, we are, approaching the death. Prabhupada always see, Prabhupada thinks that he's preaching, Prabhupada's style of preaching, that he always reminds us. Every of his lecturer, you see, there is an urgency is there. You have no time. You have no time. Always Prabhupada is telling you have no time. You can see, you can hear all his lecturer. There is an urgency in his address, in his lecture, in his preaching, because we have no time. Any time, whole atmosphere can be changed. Anytime something will be happen and everything will be disrupted. We are enjoying with family or so many, I am getting a good IT job, this job, that job, so much aspiration, so much ambition, all of a sudden is gone. So Prabhupada, maybe it sounds like a very cynical and very negative connotations rather than a positive connotation. Oh, devotional service, Hare Krishna chanting, this, that. But Prabhupada says the negative connotation is very important. Even Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. That will remind us. That will remind us. That will bring about the urgency in our devotional service. That we have no time. Ayur harati by punsam udyam astam chanyasa. Bhagavatam telling why you are so proud of this. You are now every day you are going to going one day nearer to death. Ayur harati by punsam udyam astam chanyasu tasyarthi kyananitya uttama sloko bhartaya. This is the Bhagavatam say that both by rising, by setting the sun, decrease the duration of life for everyone, except one who utilizes the time by discussing topics of all good personality of Godhead. They have no idea that people are not attending the classes. I have seen, every day I have some Zoom classes or Facebook classes. People are not interested because they have no idea. They want to be, they want to continue to be suffered, repeatedly rotting and rotating in this material world. Shastra is giving a very sublime method, discussing the topics of all good personality of Godhead. Just like we are discussing about how we are, vainly seeking happiness, how we are inputting wrong password to happiness. We are thinking family life is happiness. There is so many other things are there. First only it takes so many things to discuss on the family life only. Both by rising, setting sun, we decreases. We are in a death queue. Only person who is escaping, those who are discussing the topics of all good personality of Godhead. Those who are hearing and chanting, glorify, they are saved. Time factor cannot. So therefore, we should understand this urgency that no, anytime can happen also. And we should not be complacent. Just like Prahlad Maharaj is telling, the problem with devotees, they are not enough fear of Maya. Prahlad Maharaj is telling, my Lord, you have come with so many very ferocious form as Narsingadev. But I am not fearing your form. I am fearing your Maya. Maya can trick me anytime. Maya can trick me. Maya is very Mama Maya Durataya. Here beautiful verses. You should remember these verses. If you want to, these verses are very, very important because it is like a it is like a protective things. Whenever you remember the verses, it will, whenever the Maya comes, these verses will help us to advance, to counteract the Maya, to control the mind. O most powerful, insurmountable Lord, who are kind to the fallen soul, I have been put in the association of demons as a result of my activity. Therefore, I am very much afraid of my condition of life within this material world. When will that moment come? When will you call me to shelter a lotus feet, which is the ultimate goal of liberation for conditioned soul? He is telling, I am fear of conditioned soul. And the previous verses actually, he is telling, I am not fear of your form. His form is feared by everyone, even Lakshmi, Brahma, Lord Shiva. But my Lord, who are never conquered by anyone, I am certainly not afraid of your ferocious mouth and tongue, your eyes bright like sun, your frowning eyebrow. I do not fear your sharp and pinching teeth, your garland of intestine, your mane soaked with blood, or your high ways like ears. Nor do I fear your tumultuous roaring, which makes elephant flee to distant place, or your nails which are meant to kill your enemy. So these are the things. Is telling, I am fear of your Maya. So we should be very careful. Then we will continue with our family life with a wrong password. There is so many verses there. I'm not able to get into the next step because there are so many verses to show you about the family life. In the material world, every materialistic desire to achieve happiness diminishes distress. Therefore, he acts accordingly. Actually, however, one is happy as long as one does not endeavor for happiness. As soon as he begins his activity for happiness, his conditions of distress begin. Because in material happiness, you try to become happy, then you are entangled in this complexity. You are entangled in this complexity. Therefore, the happiness here is like a myth in this material world. And sometimes it is said that Prahlad Maharaj is saying that even though you're trying to get the remedy, but the remedy itself is remedy to become happy, that remedy itself is more problematic than the problems. 7:9:17. So this is the position of this is the position of family life. My dear Lord, now I have complete experience concerning the worldly opulence, mystic power, longevity, other material pleasure enjoyed by all living entity. Lord Brahma down to end. As a powerful time, you destroy them all. Therefore, because my experience, I do not wish to possess them. My dear Lord, I request you to place me in touch with your pure devotee. Let me serve him as a sincere servant. Very important verse. Very, very important verses. Because everybody wants happiness. His father was a great materialistic, champion of materialistic. Hiranyakashipu, everything he has got. But within no minute he was died. He was devastated, decimated by Narsingadev. He was killed by Narsingadev. Therefore, when Prahlad Maharaj, when Narsingadev asked Prahlad Maharaj to, for any benediction, immediately Prahlad Maharaj given a reference. My father was a champion. Immediately he was vanished. So what is the use of this? Please, please, I do not want any kind of benediction. I want to be servant of the devotees. So many things to learn, Prahlad Maharaj. My dear Lord, people in general want to be elevated to higher planetary system for a long duration of life, opulence, enjoyment. But I have seen all these through the activity of my father. When my father was angry, he laughed sarcastically at demigods. They were immediately vanquished simply by seeing the movement of his eyebrow. Yet my father was so powerful, has now been vanquished by you within a moment. So the Lord is so, time factor is so powerful, it will vanquish us. Howsoever great we are, howsoever sophisticated arrangement we create in this material world, that will be vanished within a moment. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj rejected so-called this happiness for family life. Then we can think of any other happiness people are in material life, they're seeking for money. Money, 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 sweeter than honey, brighter than sunshine. Let's go. The next verses, the Prabhupada is, addressing the problem that people say that money can solve every problem. One time I was telling that money cannot solve, and somebody told me that you don't know where to shop. So Bhagavatam say that wealth is a perpetual source of distress. It is most difficult to acquire. It is virtual death for the soul. Everybody hustling, bustling to the office, enormous stressful life, exceedingly busy life to earn money and enjoy the sense. Become a Hiranyakasipu. Hiranyakasipu is outside and within us also. So everybody trying to become a Hiranya and Kasipu. After Hiranya and Kasipu. Therefore, what satisfaction does one actually gain from this wealth? Similarly, how can one enjoy any genuine happiness from those things that are gained or maintained by one's hard-earned money, such as home children, relative, domestic animals, since they are all temporary? So whole idea that he's telling temporary. Sir, how long you are going to be there? You cannot maintain your status quo of your happiness, status quo of your money being a rich, either Ambani, Adnani, or Bill Gates, or Warren Buffett, or Steve Jobs, who was suffering from pancreatic cancer. He had a millions of dollars, trillions of dollars actually. He was CEO of Apple, but he was suffering from pancreatic cancer. He succumbed to death, and he told that even trillions dollar could not save my life. The most expensive bed is the death bed, this hospital bed. I could not transfer my disease. I cannot buy. I cannot stop my death. I cannot buy my life by trillions dollar. He realized, actually given a statement, that I was so much into money, so I should have invested in spiritual life, because it's temporary. So-called money, you become rich, but we cannot maintain the status quo. The great Alexander, when he was dying, he told three things to his secretary, that first of all, along with my dead body, let the doctor come, so that everybody know that doctor also cannot save you. That is what Prahlad Maharaj already said, that in 7.9.19. Balasyaneha Pitaro Narsinga. And he told that all the money should be scattered, on my way, so that everybody knows that this is all here only. We are not taking anything. No, this money is wasted. And thirdly, he told, dangle my hand, so that everybody knows that I come alone, and I'm going alone. Nobody can take anything. So this is all the things to learn for us, that money is not. We are seeking after money. No. Therefore, Shastra say, Kamasya Nendra Pritilava Jipeta Javat Dhivasya Tattva Jigyasa. Kamasya Nendriya Priti. Your endeavor should not for the sense gratification. It only for the self-preservation. As much as required, body required, that much money you should have. You should go for it. Otherwise, it is entangling. Your main aim is to Tattva Jigyasa, to realize that I am the spirit soul. I am somehow entrapped pathetically in this what is that called, in this very precarious situation, in this very difficult situation and I have to get out. That is whole idea. So this happiness is rejected. Money can never be the important thing. For human society, constantly thinking of how to earn money, apply it for sense gratification, bring about destruction of everyone's interest. When one becomes devoid of knowledge, devotional service, he enter into spaces like those of trees and stones. See how dangerous. People are so much overwhelming with money if they forget their aim of life. Everybody, 99.9%, whole modern civilization representing Hari and Hiranyakashipu. Therefore, Prabhupada has extensively given the lecture because it's tremendously relevant for everyone to learn the lesson from this Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad Maharaj and Narsimha Katha. That how it is so bad when you are popped up, when you have power, you have money, you have sense gratification, you do not even care for God, you deny the existence of the God, you defy the authority of the God, you defile the God. As a result, you are vanquished. So this is a very, very paramount important lesson for everyone, that how money is not a right password to happiness. It will not give, because everything is transient by nature. Everything is transient, Prahlad Maharaj is telling that everything is transient, This verse not coming. So here it is. Prahlad Maharaj is saying this beautiful prayers. What is this? That no, this is not the verse. So this is the verses. Is Prahlad Maharaj is telling that one's reaches beautiful wife, female friend, one's son, daughter, one's residence, one domestic animal like cows, elephant, horses, one treasury, economic development, sense gratification, indeed, even the lifetime which one can enjoy all these material opulences are certainly temporary, flickering. Since the opportunity of human life is temporary, what benefit can these material opulences give to a sensible man who has understood himself to be eternal? This is opportunity of my whole human life is temporary. And so-called these things, what they will give? Happiness. All the family life, all this money. Human life is subject to death. Nobody can escape the death. It's temporary, transient. So what you derive for the paraphernalia? I recommend everyone to read the 7th canto very thoroughly. Since the body itself is ultimately meant to become a stool sharp, what is the meaning of paraphernalia related to the body, such as wife, residence, wealth, children, relatives, servant, friends, kingdom, treasury, animals, minister? They're all so temporary. What more then can be said about this? Prahlad Maharaj is stopping this. Well, what is this? It's all temporary. We are after all these things. We are thinking this is the aim of life. How to become, how to ameliorate the material conditioning, how to become, increase our, augment our bank balance, how to derive this sense pleasure, all these things, family life, that is all rejected as a wrong password. And out of all the things, the sex life is the most, they say adhirasa, the highest of sense gratification. That is so much condemned that you cannot believe. This verses is a very these verses where Prahlad Maharaj is speaking to, praying to this Narsingadev. He told, "Yen maithunadi grihamedi sukhamitu kandunena karo iba dukkha dukkham trippanti neha kirpana bahu dukkha bhajo kandutyam manusaya manasi jam vishehet dhira." These verses is very, very important verses. The adi rasa, the highest sense gratification, according to Shastra, according to Vedic culture, according to scripture, it is the worst thing. It is the dukkham, most distressed things. Therefore, which is value, which is the artha in this world, That is anartha in spiritual world. The artha means is money is a very valuable thing. Family life valuable, sex life is valuable, but it is anartha spiritual life. In spiritual world, it is called anartha. Just like, if you get Singapore dollar, you go to India and it has no value. You may have $1,000, you cannot buy anything. So and vice versa. Therefore, anything which is artha here, this is anartha in spiritual existence. Just like sex life is compared to the rubbing of two hands to relieve an each. Grihamedid, the so-called grihastha, who have no spiritual knowledge, think that this is itching. This itching is the greatest platform of happiness. Although actually it is a source of distress. The kripanas, the fools who are just opposite of brahmanas, are not satisfied by repeated sensuous enjoyment. Those who are dhira, however, who are sober, who tolerate this itching, are not subject to the suffering of fools and rascals. See, this is entanglement. People are entangled because of sex life, entangled. United, male and female united, and they're trying to be happy, but they cannot be happy. At the dispense of material nature, nobody can have a rest and relax. Nobody can have a fun and frolic, because the intrinsic, the inherent nature of this material nature, dukkhalayam asaswatam, is misery, excruciating situation. Material world is an excruciating, pathetic situation, and we are entrapped. No solution can, no such password to your happiness, that sex life, family life is all useless. That will not give you any kind of, that will not give you happiness. This happiness it is said that dukkham, bahut dukkham. Sex life dukkham. As soon as, just like itching, you are itching, you like it. Oh, again itching. Oh, you like it. Like I like itching. Then blood is coming. You may be temporarily feeling very happiness, but just like a camels, camels take the thorn. When they take the thorn, and it was caught in his tongue, and the blood is coming out from his mouth and mixed with that thorn. And he's thinking that, oh, it is spiced one, masala, Indian masala is there. So it is very tasty, it's not just like a plain, it's a masala. He does not know that it is his own blood. We have no idea that how much the sex life is so endangering of entangling us. Very entanglement. It creates a lot of problem. We are entangled in family life. Is repeatedly saying that this is one of the verses. See, today is somehow others, all the verses are coming out from the seventh canto only. Prahlad Maharaj. In this material world, every living entity desires some future happiness, which is exactly like a mirage in the desert. Where is water in the desert? In other words, where is happiness in this material world? As for this body, what is the value? It is merely a source of various diseases. Klesha dasas deha. Today COVID, tomorrow this pain, that pain. The so-called philosopher, scientist, politician know this very well. But nonetheless, they aspire for temporary happiness. Happiness is very difficult to obtain. Obtain, because they are unable to control their sense. They run after so-called happiness of material world, never come to the right conclusion. That is the statement of this shastra. Prahlad Maharaj telling they do not come to right conclusion. How to get out from this misery? How to get the real happiness? We do not say spirituality does not stop your happiness, but bring you to the real happiness, unexhausted happiness, unlimited happiness, not this transient happiness. Vidyapati, one of the poet, Vaishnava poet, is written, Sakala taikate bhari bindu sama. The happiness, so-called happiness we are enjoying, is like in a desert, there is a little bit of water. That will not quench drop of water. Bindu means drop, not little bit of also, not a cup also, drop. This drop of water in a desert will not quench our thirst. We have no idea, ignorance, we are going after this. And for this, happiness, the sex life, family life, money. We have covered three things. For that, we are working like a dog and hog. We, we are working. So Rishabhadev is telling you are working like a dog and with Bhujam. What is that? With Bhuj 551. They starting with what? 5 5. Topo, sorry. It says that Nayam Deha Devuja Niloke custom common arati vidvujam de. Topo Divyam Putraka Dena Satam Suddhati Jasamad Brahma Sukyam to Anantam. Rishabhadev is very nicely speaking to his sons, advising that you have got this human form of life. You should not work like a vidvujam means stool eating animals like dog and hog. They work very hard for the livelihood. We should not do that. You should have a higher status, higher purpose. Tapo divyam putrika dena sattam suddhate jasmad brahma sukyam. Unlimited sukha. You should seek for unlimited sukham, happiness, not for this, temporary, transient happiness. Therefore, the so-called sex life has been rejected. Then we can go to, sometimes they say that, okay, fine, family life, no happiness. This is a wrong password. Then we go to we learned about the money also is a source of all distress. No. Now we learned that the sex life is not working. It will be entangled us, Then sometimes they say that, okay, let me go to the no, good fruitive workers. Of course, we will go to the, sometimes they say that we will go to heaven. Many people do jagya, this kind of ritual thing to go to jagya, go to heavenly planet, because heavenly planet, there is a comfort, just like India. But if you go to America or any first world country, you will have some comfort. Heaven is like this, but still there is a discomfort. So in these beautiful verses, the Prabhupada is continuing, sir, your happiness of going to heaven and enjoying, that also is baffled. One cannot find permanent happiness even on the heavenly planet, which one can attain in the next life by ritualistic ceremony and sacrifices. Even in material heaven, the living entity is disturbed by the rivalry with the equals and envy of the superior. This is also this like corporate office, always rivalry with colleagues and all superior. And since one residence in heaven is finished with the exhaustion of pious activities, pretty pious activities, the denizens of heaven are affected by fear, anticipating destruction of their heavenly. They fear also. So, sir, my things exhausted, then I will be again going back to the earth. Thus they resemble king, just like we go to the America and we are fearing our visa is expiring. There is no renewal. So we fearing again, we have to go back to India, Thus, they resemble kings. They resemble kings who. Thus, they resemble kings who, though enviously admired by ordinary citizens, are constantly harassed by enemy kings, who therefore never attain actual happiness. There also rivalry. There is fighting and all. So, heavenly planet also is not a good password to attain happiness. This happiness is very transient. As soon as your pious activity exhausted, you will come back to Kine Punyam Vasati Loke. Chapter 9, text 21, Bhagavad Gita. Krishna say that those who goes to heavenly planet again come back. So these are the things are not the right password to happiness. Even sometimes they say that, oh, I will do the fruity work. My work is my worship. I am very much passionate about my work. I love my work, But that also seems like it is not proper. People are so much workaholic, not alcoholic. Workaholic also are alcoholic, just like alcohol. These alcoholic, they are so much devoured by the alcohol. This workaholic moles also, they are so much devoured by the work, they have no idea what is the real life. Although the performer of fruitive activity desired perpetual happiness, it is clearly observed that materialistic workers are often unhappy, only occasionally satisfied, thus proving that they are not independent or in control of their destiny. Very passionate people, they want to say, I am the destiny, I did it, I will do it, this is my dream, I will make my thing, I am the architect of my destiny, so and so, for big word, all this big word. When a person is always under superior control of another, how can he expect any valuable result from his own fruitive action? So they cannot get, they are expecting big, big things, but they cannot. Result is opposite. Result is opposite. So this is also to become a passionate worker, and I've got my job satisfaction, so much workaholic, so much trying to be happy. It is observed that within the material world, sometimes even an intelligent person is not happy. Similarly, sometimes even a great fool is happy. The concept of becoming happy through expertly performing material activity is simply a useless exhibition of false egotism. Many people think that, oh, I am doing my duty, my work, my this, my that, I am perfect because I have done my duty for my family, my country, my so and so forth, but this is all useless exhibition of false egotism. Shastra is rejected the concept of being happy through expertly performing material activity, because you cannot be happy. Sometimes intelligent people also, they're trying, they become fool, morose. Oh, I am not happy. Even a fool is happy. So therefore, the concept of happiness is wrong by this fruitive, by performing fruitive activities expertly. So in this we have covered so many things of happiness, as sex life, family life, money, going to heaven, going to a. Then now what happened? Just people are, after this intelligent people, Gani, they think that all this material conception of happiness is very useless. Let me try to go to spiritual conception of happiness by merging into the Brahman, Mayavadis. They're trying to be happy by Brahmananda. They want to be Brahmananda. Why unnecessary material world? Heavenly planet, there is no happiness. Family life, no happiness. Sex life, no happiness. Money also you reach, no happiness. You are expert karmi. That also no happiness. Let me go. Let me go to the spiritual like distance. Spiritual. They are a little intelligent. They are not just karmi. They are a bit intelligent. So, but still they have a problem. Yanya Ravandakya, Prabhupada always quoted this verse. जयन्य अरविंदक्य विमुक्त मानिना तोयष्टभावता विशुद्ध बुद्धाय आर्ह्य कीर्चन परम पाद तम पतंति यदो अनादित जस्मत अंगरा. It is said that this Mayavadi, they want to merge into Krishna. They want to say this material world is false. Jagana mithya, Jagat mithya, Brahma satyam. Brahma is Satya, all this Mithya false, everything false. So let me go, let me become Jagata Brahman, let me merge into the Brahman. Someone may say that aside from devotee who always seek the shelter at the Lord lotus feet, they are those who are not devotee, but who have accepted the different process for attaining salvation. What happens to them? In answer to this question, Lord Brahma and other demigods say, O lotus-eyed Lord, although non-devotee who accept severe austerity penances to achieve the highest position may think themselves liberated, their intelligence is pure, they fall down from their position of imagined superiority because they have no regard for lotus. Because there is no opportunity of service in merging into Brahman. So there is no Ananda there. They have it, Sachidananda, the Chit there, Sat there, Ananda there, because the service is not there. So therefore, they do not get happiness. They again come down, fall down, and trying to be materially happy. They started all philanthropic activities and all. The Mayavadis, they after sometimes become Namo Narayana, I am Brahman, I am Supreme Brahman, I become Narayana, I merge into this one. After sometimes you will find them, they are starting the hospital, they are starting the cancer hospital, they are starting these charitable things, all the things. So they cannot remain, just like a Prabhupada give an example. If you have been put in a room for 6 months, 1 year, you will be disgusted. You will come out, you will, so therefore you will not get any happiness. Varieties is the mother of enjoyment, spices of life, So therefore we cannot in Brahman position. So this is not happiness, the Brahmananda. And that happiness also, going to Brahmananda and trying to be, that is also drop, like, the beautiful verses somebody quoted today in the year. I also forget that year. And it's from Chaitanya. Let me find out. Somebody quoted is today's here. That one, we used to quote these verses whenever the happiness comes. Somebody quoted in today's who quoted? One sec. So many messages I cannot find out where he quoted. Very Chaitanya Charitamrita, this one, very nice verse. So this is 797 purport. He said that the Brahmanandas, the transcendental bliss derived from understanding impersonal Brahman, were multiple million times. Such quantity of Brahmananda could not compare with even an atomic portion of the pleasure released by pure devotional service. So they cannot get happiness. For them, like multiplied millions time equal, even cannot be compared with a little bit of pure devotional service. So how the pure devotional service is very important. So here it is rejected. The Brahmananda are rejected. The Kaurmij are rejected. All these Mayavadis are rejected. So all these endeavors or all this password are not the right password to happiness. Now the question comes on how to get happiness. This is very simple. We do not go to the Bhagavatam verses. Let's go to the Bhagavad Gita, simple one. Start with the simple things. So here Krishna says, Nastir buddhir ajuktasya na cha juktasya bhavana na chaivanta santir asantasya kuta sukam. So one who is not in transcendental consciousness can have neither controlled mind nor steady intelligence, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be happiness without peace? So unless we connect it to Krishna consciousness, we cannot have controlled mind. Our mind will detecting us. And it is always anxiety. Mind is anxiety, gives anxiety. Chanchalahi mana Krishna pramata dridavatta. Arjuna is telling chapter 634. Chanchalahi mana Krishna is very obstinate. It will bring us here and there, detecting us. So it will not give us the steady minds or not steady intelligent also. Because our intelligence cannot be steady, always fluctuating. Because we are not in a Krishna consciousness, our mind and intelligence is not controlled, without which there is no possibility of peace. Our mind is disturbed. How can I get a peace? My intelligence is not steady. I have no idea what is my goal of life. Then how there is a peace? If there is no peace, where is happiness? One time Prabhupada given a very nice example. Alexander, when came to India, he came to India, Macedonia, Macedonia. So he came to India. When he came to India, conquer India, and that time he saw one of the yogis or something. He's sitting there and meditating like this. So then he asked, "What do you want?" So he did not answer anything. Then he told, I am the king of all the kings. What do you want? I can give you all happiness. He answered that, please, can you be a little bit of go side, because your shadow is reflecting on me. I am not able to meditate. That's it. I don't want anything. Just to get out from these places, because shadow is disturbing me. So this is the thing. Those who are transcendentalists, those who are devotee, for them there is nothing, all happiness. Yam labdacha paramalabham na manyate adhikataka. There is no greater gain than this. Chapter 6, text 24, 22, I think. So there is no greater gain than this. Once you gain this Krishna consciousness, nothing to be gained. That is real happiness. So-called Alexander, he may not be happy, but a yogi who has nothing, he has nothing in his possession, he is very happy. He is telling, I don't want anything, you just don't disturb me. You may be great king, but I don't want anything. So this is the thing. Yam labda. Durba Maharaj is telling, Swamin Kitatusmi Swamin na jajache baro. I am very happy. Although Durba Maharaj, he went for a motivated devotional service. He wants something from the Lord. But when he saw the Lord, he said, Sir, I am very mistaken. I do not want all these opulences. Achan Bichinban Dibya Ratnam. I got Dibya Ratna. To see you is like a Dibya Ratna. It's like a very valuable jewel. And I was searching for a broken glasses. All this big kingdom, more bigger than Brahma. He was looking for that. He was undergoing 6 months austerity, severe austerity in a place called Madhuban in Vrindavan, just to get a bigger kingdom than Brahma, his grandfather. But after seeing the Lord, he told, sorry, I am so sorry, I am so guilty. Very nice verses. He telling that, what is that called? Sthana vilasa tapasaham. What kind of tapasi I am? What kind of devotee I am? I'm asking, some kind of material motivation. I'm executing devotional service. Oh, this is not good. I'm looking for some broken glasses where I have a jeweled and valuable jewel in front of me. Therefore, Swamin Kitatosmi, I am very happy. I do not want anything. Devotee means happiness. Vishwam punnam sukhayate. Ramadananda Saraswati said. The symptoms of devotee means Vishwam punyam sukhayate. They are always happy. They do not want anything. Yam labdacha paramalabha, the devotional service. Therefore, it is said that millions times Brahmananda cannot be compared to the drop of devotional service. Everybody wants happiness. We are enjoy seeking living entity because we are spirit soul, Sachidananda. But our happiness we are seeking in a very wrong place. Wrong password to all happiness. If any devotee trying to be happy in this material world, become a family or money, and they cannot be, or any materialistic, anybody, any living entity want to be happy in so-called family, so-called sex, so-called money, so-called going to heavenly planet, so-called karma, so-called Mayavadi Brahmananda, they all are not going to give happiness. Only happiness you can derive when you connected with Krishna. A spirit soul can be happy only by connecting with Supreme Spirit. Just like a fish, you can take out from the fish from the water and put in a very royal palace like Buckingham Palace and Queen Palace of London. He cannot be happy because his natural element is water. So our natural state is the spirit soul, part and parcel of the Lord. Divera Sarupaya Nitya Krishna Dasa, engage in devotional service to the Lord. Then only we can be happy. Otherwise, there is no question of happiness in this material world. We cannot derive any. Everything is material. Everything is transient. Therefore, it is said that we do not know this. This is the problem, is that we are ignorance. Therefore, we need somebody to guide us. We need to hear. Hearing is not there, then how to get the knowledge? One who is not in transcendental consciousness can have neither control mind. Sorry, this is same verse. There's a beautiful verses from the fifth canto. Shivadev is speaking. This verse. He said that due to ignorance, the materialistic person does not know anything about his real self-interest. We do not know real self-interest. Having a condo, having a beautiful wife, having this, having that is happiness. No, this is all wrong password. The auspicious path in life is simply bound to material enjoyment by lusty desire. All the plans are made for this purpose, for temporary sense gratification. Such a person creates a society of envy due to this mentality. He plunges into the ocean of suffering. Such a foolish person does not even know about this. That is the problem. Ignorance is the root cause of our suffering. Therefore, our is transcendental knowledge. How to get this knowledge? This knowledge is very, very important, so that we can we have to educate it. We have to train. Therefore, due to ignorance, we are seeking very wrongly the happiness. Our aim of life is not all the things. Our aim of life to stop this. We do not know tomorrow we can die. So, but if we are not prepared, we are entangled. The real problem of life, the repetition of birth and death. We do not know. We are thinking real problem is money. If I get money, I will be happy. Real problem is family life. If I have a beautiful wife and a very faithful wife and a obedient son, children, I will be happy. If I will have a good sex life, I will be happy. But they do not know the problem is not this all this material problem. These are very trivial. Your problem is that repetition of birth and death. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janana justare sayana. What is that? Sansara ati dustare pahi murari. So Shankaracharya telling that punarapi jananam, again taking birth in wombs of the mother, again taking the birth of wombs of the mother from different wombs of the mother, and this is not a good idea. From one womb to another womb, migrating from or moving from one womb to, and that is very difficult. 9 months in the womb of the mother. Therefore, the child is coming out and crying. Why is crying? Because he has suffered 9 months, very suffocative environment. Therefore, he is crying. Why the child is born crying? This is the thing. The hangover is already there, just like a drunkard. He drinks and morning he has a hangover. Similarly, the child is crying, he has a hangover of that excruciating pain that medical say that cannot be that cannot be, what we say, replicated in material apparatus, material machine. Nobody can survive in that environment. But by God's grace, 9 months. You can read this verses, 331 canto Bhagavatam, how the child from the womb of the mother is praying, my Lord, please help me. I am such a distressed condition. People have no idea. They think that they are peacefully, RIP, rest in peace. What rest in peace? What is this rest in peace? Death is very, very unpleasant. Death is very excruciating pain, two way of pain. First of all, it detaches our soul from the body. That is like 80,000. Purana says that 80,000 scorpion at a time biting you, that kind of pain will give. This verse is there actually. Demigods are saying this. This is verse, sir, I forgot. Yes. So, oh elevated demigods, at the time of death, severe unbearable pain takes away the consciousness of all living entity who have accepted the material body. Don't you know about this pain? See how much excruciating. Birth is painful, therefore child is crying. Death is painful, therefore the living entity is crying at the time of death. It's painful. And second type of pain is that he's separating from his nears and dear, because materialistic are so attached, they do not want to give up. They do not want to give up the life because so much attached. That is also pain. It is stated in Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam has got everything and anything, what you ask, anything. Materialistic are generally very attached to their present bodily comfort, to the bodily comfort they expect in future. Therefore, they are always absorbed in the thought of their wife, children, wealth, are afraid of giving up their body, which are full of stools and urine. If a person engaged in Krishna consciousness, however, is afraid of giving up this body, what is the use of having labored to study the Shastra? It was simply a waste of time. So it is said that this materialistic so much absurd, they do not want to separate. They do not want to give up their bodies. Sometimes say that don't talk about death, inauspicious. They have no idea you are already dead actually. It's just a repercussion. And when you are going to give up the body, every day body is dying. Every cells also replenished, So anyway, but this is the thing. This is a blunt and blatant fact of life. Materialistic life or happiness, so-called happiness. Everybody thought, everybody not thinking, oh, I'm going to leave, never mind. Even a devotee are complacent, oh, okay, I have already got the Krishna consciousness, never mind, I will be saved. Krishna says, Solpam apyasya dharmasya trayate namayatava. Little bit of devotional service also can save. Prabhupada says that don't take risk. Don't take risk. Don't postpone. Postpone, what is that called? Prabhupada used to say, procrastination is thief of time. Don't postpone to another life. More and more Kali advance, more and more Maya strong, because might is the kingdom of Maya. Maya is stronger and stronger. We are weaker and weaker. Very difficult to get out. Don't procrastinate. Don't be complacent that, okay, I've been initiated by Prabhupada. I was initiated by a guru and I'm chanting. No, you are complacent. You are thinking that, oh, it's going on like this, going on. No. If seriousness, you are not getting the seriousness. No. Anytime death come, let me seriously execute the devotional service. Therefore, Prabhupada is given a rule only. One rule, one golden rule. Follow the regulative principle rigidly. That's all. That's all. And a person will follow when he understands that urgency of following this one. If you do not understand the urgency, no, what is the urgency of that? He cannot. Therefore, it is say that, what is that called? Utistata jagrata. Prapya baran nibodata. Utistata, awake, arise. You have got this bara, means benediction of human life, because all other species of life have no prerogative, no privilege to get out from this material, obnoxious material existence. You have got this human form of life. Labda sudallam idam bahusambhamate. After so many, going through so many evolution process, you have got this rare human, which has a unique opportunity to get out from this. Therefore, Shastra say, Utishtata, Prabhupada used this beautiful words. Utishtata jagrata prapya baran nibodata. Kurasya dharasya nisita. Kurasya dharasya nisita. Kurasya dhara means it is like a razor. A razor, when you use the razor on your cheeks, if you are attentive, there is nicely you can save it. But little inattention, you will have a blood. So the spiritual life is like a walking on the razor. Very, very careful. Little inattentive, Maya will destroy you. Maya will, a small spark, there's a proverb is that, small spark neglected burns the house. Little Maya, Prabhupada used to give like Indian train. Indian train, if you go through particularly Bihar and UP things, they come without ticket and they will ask, little, can I sit? After some time, they will say, can my wife will sit? Can my children will sit? In this way, they acquired entire seat. And this person who has reserved ticket, he has to stand. Prabhupada used to give a very nice analogy. So similarly, our position is cross Maya. If little bit of allow, little allow Maya, na little YouTube, I will see the video. Little I will go to Bollywood. Little I will see this one. All this little, it will be destroy you. It will become increase. Purasadhara Nisita. What is that? Badanti Kabhyaha. It's very, very difficult path. So it's very, very, very careful. Everyone should be careful. So here it is say that it's due to ignorance only people absorb. These people are absorbed. They do not want to materialistic. So death is not is a painful. Death is painful. Disease is very painful. Invalid old age is also painful. So it is, therefore it is say that this samsara is very, very what do we say, very precarious situation. So only thing you want to get out, you want to get out, or you want to happiness. So sansara, it is said that sansara sindhum ati dustatram utisaro. For person who is suffering in the fire of countless miseries, who desire to cross the insurmountable ocean of material existence, there is no suitable boat except that cultivating devotion to transcendental taste for the narration of Supreme Personality of Godhead. You have to hear, sir. My dear devotees, you have to hear. Without hearing, you cannot get out. Whole idea is hearing. More and more you hear, more you get this knowledge and detachment. Narration of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whole Bhagavatam is narration. Way to immortality is simply by years. Years is gateway to liberation. Years is our front door, so that Krishna will come through years by his narration, by his topics of his discussion of his activities. Then it will come to heart and purify us and get us liberated. If we are closing the front door, how Krishna will come? Pravishta Kannarandrena. How Krishna comes not by the seeing. You cannot see the Lord by your eyes. You can see the Lord by your ears, actually. Prabhupada said that. Pravishta Kannarandrena snanam bhava sururam dhunati samalam Krishna salilasya jathasarat. Our problem is that we have material infection. We are now caught in this material world. We are infected. Bhavarogo. How to cure it? Not by seeking happiness, not by materialistic way like Hiranyakasipu is trying. No, not by family life. In this way we cannot. Not by money, not by sex, not by all other things we have discussed today. Only thing we can purify. Srimad Bhagavatam say that sound incarnation of Lord Krishna, the supreme soul, enter into the heart of self-realized devotee, sits on the lotus flower of his loving relationship, thus cleanses the dust of material association, such as lust, anger, hankering, thus act like autumnal rain upon pools of muddy water. So here it is said that enters into the heart of self-realized devotee. How? The sound incarnation. So Krishna comes, Pravishta Kanna Randrena, through the ears. The medicine our not through the mouth. Normally in materialistic people, they take our, material life, we take the medicine from the mouth, but here the medicine through the ears. Bhavosutu. Nirvitatase rupagiyamanat bhavosutu sruta monoviramat. By hearing process. More and more you hear, more you get purified. Our problem is infection, material loss, anger, greed. We cannot give up family life. We cannot give up money. We cannot give up sex life. We cannot give up karmi life. We cannot give up desiring for heavenly. We cannot give up become merging with Brahman. So to this all material infection can be cleansed by the process of hearing. Therefore, we must hear Sadhaya, this beautiful verses. Sanvanta Sadhaya Nityam Granastan Sosestitam Kalena Natidirghena Bhagavana Visate. Each word of Bhagavatam is so, it has a profound meaning. Sanvata Sadhaya Nityam. Hearing, Sadhaya means with faith, Nityam. Not that simply classes in Bhagavatam classes, when going to finish and I am going to take prasadam. Morning Bhagavatam, we have this problem. Restless. Oh, when the class will finish? No. Shraddha means with faith, with attention. One should hear. This is all Bhagavatam Katha. Bhagavatam means of Bhagavana, related to Bhagavana. Nityam means every day, not that today I read and tomorrow I am going to sleep. No. Nityam Bhagavata, every day, day by day. Grinantas chestitad, and trying your endeavor. Kalena natidigrena. Taking the matter, Grinantas Chestitan means taking the matter seriously, not that simply okay for the sake of today is Friday classes, either Prabhu classes or anybody classes, just attendance. So I will go attendance, finish, our next day I will not look. Whatever it is, finish. Next week, forgot about last class. No, this is not the way. This will stagnate our devotional service. It will stigmatize our devotional service. It will jeopardize our devotional service. We cannot grow like this. Grinantas, so chestitas mean taking the matter, how to hear, how to attend a class. You should learn from Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam says everything, how to attend a class. See Bhagavatam, how it is saying, how we can attend a class. You will never forget this one. 12. See, Bhagavatam say that how to hear. Oh no, what is this verse? Vaishnavanam Priya. This verses is that Srimad Bhagavatam Vaishnavanam Priya. Oh, sorry, 12, 12, 12. Srimad Bhagavatam, Vaishnavanam Priya. Vaishnavanam, Vaishnava Priya. Yeah, 12, 13, sorry. I am going to 12, 12, 12, 13, 18. Okay. In 12, 13, 18, so it is said that this Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. It said Vaishnava means we say we are devotee, we have a tilak, we are chanting, we are this, we are that, Mangalarti, everything. But here telling that you have a no love for Srimad Bhagavatam, that means you are not Vaishnava, because Vaishnava means Srimad Bhagavatam is Priyam, love. Adasmin paramansam ekam amalam jnanam paramam kriyate tatra jnana viraga bhakti saitam naiskramam aviskritam tas srinu supathanam vicharanam paro bhaktya vimuchana. See, very important. See, how to read Bhagavatam, how to attend a class. It is said that tas ravanam, you have to hear first. Therefore, it is said that sunnatam sadhaya nityam, you have to hear every day with attentive. Supathanam. What is the supathanam? Supathanam is to study. How you study your IIT examination, REC examination, graduation examination, school examination? You have to note down. Prabhupada said that to hear the class means not to forget the class means not to forget to note down. Supathanam means we study. How we study? We hear and note down. Then vicharana, then you contemplate it. We discuss it. We apply it in the life. Vicharana paro bhaktya vimuchena nara. By three process, by hearing, studying, and again contemplating and understanding this matter, who is serious about understanding it properly, then they will go back to Godhead. See, it is said that anyone who seriously tries to understand Bhagavatam, who properly hears means Shraddhaya, attentively. Not that, chants it with devotion and glory. Chants it with devotion means again glorified it with devotion, become completely liberated. So this is the way of, hearing a classes, attending a classes, attentive and study it, like write down and study, and later you go back after completing, you think of that. Just like we are examination, we study material, we try to revise it, memorize it, thinking of it, what is actually meant for, how we can apply these particular verses. So this is the thing, very important. Therefore, it is said that by the process of this, what is that? By process of hearing. Sorry, we go back to verses. Sunnatam sudhaya nityam granantam sochestita kalena natidirghana. Kalena means time. No, atidirghana means not so much time. It will very short time. Bhagavana visate uddha. The Bhagavana will manifest in the heart. Bhagavana is already there. Sarvabhutanam udate tishtati Arjuna. But it is not manifested. When it will manifested? When you hear, it will manifest. When it manifests, it will cleanse all the heart. Then we will be eligible to go back to Godhead. Therefore, the hearing Bhagavatam, this devotional service begins with the hearing process. So we know that today, that how the happiness in this material world, the different kind of happiness, that will not the right password to happiness. All other things, all materialistic endeavor to become happy are all futile, are wrong password to happiness. Real happiness is when connected to Krishna, we have this control mind, control intelligence, steady intelligent, then we will have a peace of mind, and when there is peace, there is a happiness. The happiness only comes from when you connected with Krishna. So this is the thing. People do not know the technique. They're trying to be happy in this material world, but it is all fertile, and they become more and more distressed, more and more distressed. They're planning, but all this planning has become very fertile. So we will today session is like this. We will take some question and any doubt on this particular subject matter, so we can try to give the answers. So anybody has any question? Thank you very much for being a patience to learn hear this one. Although Prabhu classes is very classic, and very, very good. Prabhu has very, the way Prabhu's presentation is very lucid as compared to me and all things. I'm totally different. So I may apologize for that. But as ordered by Prabhu, I have to give the classes. So anybody has got any questions, and yes, so I did not go through the purport because it will take time. Where it will take time to go through the purport, you read it, and but the translation itself is very nice. And wherever there is a purport needed, you must go through purport. Purport is Prabhupada say that purport is my ecstasy, my ecstatic, because I have to cover so many verses, so I could not go through the all the purport. If question answer, we can go one question, one sloka, and all purport. So purport is Prabhupada says my ecstatic. Krishna has written the purport. So any question here? Yeah. Could you please clarify the doubt regarding Hiranyakashipu asking boon? No man, no any god can kill me, and kill ultimately Lord Nrsimhadev is God only. So could you please kindly elaborate? Yes, very nice. Nrsimhadev elaborate. Nrsimhadev is not God. See, therefore there is a beautiful verse. Let me show you. So as the Hiranyakashipu is asking a boon, what boon? I cannot be killed by God. I cannot be called by any animal. See how this mentality of this demon, they want a roundabout. He could not get immortality because Brahma says, my dear Hiranyakashipu, I myself is not immortal. A Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartina Arjuna, chapter 8, text 16 Bhagavad Gita. So I am not immortal. I am subject to die, although I have a prolonged life. But you can ask me anything. So he tricked the Brahma. He thought I am so intelligent, He tricked that I will ask immortality in roundabout way. I cannot be killed by God. I cannot be killed by this and that. So okay, fine, but you cannot be intelligent than the what is that? You cannot be intelligent than the God. God is more intelligent. So this is the beautiful verses to answer to your questions, that as you question that Nrsimhadev is God only. Here, although Nrsimhadev God, but in order to protect his the boon, I mean, so he did not come as a God. He came as a Satyam Vidhatum Nijavurtya. Is it sad or not? It's sad. Is it sad? You can see the verse. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Satyam
Prabhu. Yes.
Vidatum Nijavurtyavasitam Vyaptim Jabhuteshu Akhileshu Chatmanaha Aduschatadbhuta Rupamudbahan Stambe Savayam Namurgam Namanusam. So here, to prove that statement of his servant Prahlad Maharaj, substantial, in other words, to prove that Supreme Lord is present everywhere, even within the pillar of an assembly hall. The Supreme Personality Godhead Hari exhibited a wonderful form never before seen. The form was neither that of a man nor of the lion. The Lord appeared in his wonderful form in the assembly hall. So Prabhupada says that this is also applicable not only Prahlad's statement but Brahma's statement. Brahma also given the benediction. So in order to protect the Brahma, he has come in a way that it covers the Brahma's, it protects the Brahma's boon. In Brahma's boon was there like 7523. You can see. Oh, sorry, what is this 7523? 79. Sorry. Already 5 days, so I'm forgetting the slokos. So, yeah. Which was One sec, sorry, I'm getting this sloka where this benediction is, which verse was, yeah, I think this is the verses. He's getting this benediction that, sorry, 35. So in this verse, oh my Lord, this is the benediction was given, benediction asked by Hiranyaka. Oh my Lord, best of the givers of benediction, if you will kindly grant me the benediction I desire, please let me not meet death from any of the living entity created by you. So he's asking that I will not be died by any living entity created by you. Grant me that I not die within any residence, outside any residence, or outside any residence. So he was died. He was killed by Hiranyakasipu at the doorstep, not inside or outside, during the daytime or at night time. So he was killed by twilight. There's no evening. There's a joint sandhya. This is Trisandhya. Nor on the ground, nor in the sky. He was died in the neither sky, on the lap of Hiranyakasipu. Grant me that my death not be brought about any being created by someone other than you, nor by any weapon, nor by any human being or animal. So you see how he asked. He never asked the God. Say, grant me my death not be brought by any being created by someone other than you, nor by any weapon, any human being or animal. See, he was asking neither a human being nor animal. So Krishna is called na murgam na manusim. See, Hiranyakashipu was very much afraid of Vishnu becoming an animal to kill him, because his brother had been killed by Vishnu. Varaha avatar he killed. When Lord took the shape of a boar, he was therefore very careful to guard against all kind of animals. But even without taking the shape of an animal, Vishnu could kill him by hurling his Sudarshan Chakra, which can go anywhere without the Lord physical presence. Therefore, Hiranyakashipu was careful to guard against all kind of weapons. He guarded against all kind of time, space, country, because he was afraid of being killed by someone else in another land. There are many other planets, higher, lower. Therefore, he prayed that for the benediction of most being killed by any resident of any other planet. There are three original deities, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar. Hiranyakashipu knew that Brahma would not kill him, but he also wanted not to be killed by Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva. Consequently, he prayed for such a benediction that Hiranyakashipu thought himself surely protected from any kind of death caused by any living entity within the universe. He also careful guarded against the natural death which might take place within the house, outside the house. So he is taking care of all the things, but despite all the things, um, uh, he asking, I not be killed by any demigod demons or by any great snake from the lower planet. No one can kill you in the battlefield. You have no competitor. Therefore, grant me the benediction that I too may have no rival. Give me sole lordship over all living entity, presiding deity. Give me all glories obtained by that mystic power, attained by long austerity and practices of yoga. The Lord Brahma obtained his supreme position due to long austerity. Hiranyakashipu wanted a similar position. The ordinary power active by the mystic yoga, austerity, and other processes are sometimes vanquished, but the power obtained by the mercy of Hiranyakashipu, mercy of the Lord are never vanquished. Hiranyakashipu therefore wanted a benediction that would never be vanquished. So he tried a many way, but the problem is that all the benediction, he tell demons and human being, animals, but therefore the Atyanta Adbhuta Rupam. Advaita Rupam means is neither element nor a demigod nor a tenor. He comes in a form that is half man, half lion, which is completely different. No, nobody has seen this form before. So therefore, all the benediction here, he does not come as a like supreme, just like he came as a boar, he came as a demigod, like Baman Avatar is actually demigod. He came as a demigod, Indra's brothers. No, in this way it must avatar, but in this avatar he never come. He comes in a half man, half lion, so that all his benediction will be counteracted. It's not like that. Although his supreme personality God but in the form he comes just to counteract the benediction. Therefore, Prabhupada says that Lord is very intelligent. Lord is very intelligent. So he is more intelligent than the anybody else. So he comes in a form na murgam na manusam. That means he comes as a form that will counteract the benediction of all the things, and still he will kill that. So actually, Krishna can, Narsimhadev could have sent the Sudarshan Chakra, but he came actually not to kill. Hiranyakashipu killing is like a, no, he say that Tanu Bringam, means it's like Kesavadita Naraharam, Tabakara Kamala Bare Nakam Adbhuta Sringam, Dalita Hiranyakashipu. Just like a small wasp, how we do like this. I mean, we don't do like this, devotee, but normally non-devotee, how they kill the small insect, just like this, cross the wasp. Similarly, for Narsingadev, Hiranyakashipu is nothing. Just like cross, he does not need to come, but he comes for a particular purpose. He comes to give Prapanna Ananda, to give pleasure to the Prahlad Maharaj. He comes for the Prahlad Maharaj. He never comes for the demons. He comes for the devotee to give pleasure. That is also there in Anugrahasya Bhaktanam. Although he is Ugra, but at the same time he is Anugraha. He is Ugra for non-devotee. He is Anugraha for devotees. 10:33, 36. There are so many verses is there. So I am not going there. So therefore all the benediction is counteracted. He never come as a god. He Narsimhadev come as a half man, half man. Kesavadita Narahari Rupa. Also, when Krishna is talking with Kunti Devi, simultaneously he enter into Uttara's to protect Parikit Maharaj from Asusta. Why devotee Krishna needs to enter from outside? Why does Krishna needs to enter from outside? As Krishna is in everyone's heart, you could have stayed from the within and soul of Parikit Maharaj, or Uttara is inside them. Why did it personally enter the outside? Yes. So he manifested. Krishna is there. He manifested actually. Actually, he entered. He actually manifested. He manifested in the, just like before he's leaving from Hastinapur. Krishna was Krishna. The Uttara came. Pahi mam, Jogi, beautiful verses. Uttara is praying, my Lord, please protect me. Something is burning my womb. He never asked his Pandavas. They were great fighter. They know that the position of Krishna is supreme. So she never asked anybody. She directly asked Krishna. So Krishna immediately went there. As a Paramatma, he manifested in the heart and stop this Sustama Chakra, neutralize it. Sorry, Sustama Brahmastra and neutralize. By seeing this wonderful activity, Kunti Devi started praying. Chapter 1, text 8 from 18. Praying. Nama Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindana. So this is not that Lord can manifest anything, everything. Lord is not bound by any kind of rule and regulation. Lord, Lord is not bound by anything. He can become anything, anywhere. He can enter also. So what? We cannot just put a rules and regulation because Lord has to do like this. No, Lord is independent, Swarat. The very first verse of Bhagavatam says that Janma Swarat. Swarat means he is supremely independent. He is not bound by that. Just like his supreme Brahman, supreme powerful, still he was bound by Josoda Maya. Kunti Devi is telling this is Bidambana, is very bewildering. So we cannot restrict the Lord, otherwise he is not Lord. God is means supremely independent. He is not restricted by anything. Josoda Maya could not bind the Lord unless he allowed him to bind. He allowed him to bind. So that also we can raise a question, why the God, the Supreme Lord, who could not be bound by all the demons, Brahma, Lord Shiva, they could not also approach him. How he was so easily bound by Narada and Josoda, mother Josoda? That can be raised question. Like just like we raise a question, he could have manifested from the from the heart instead of entering. So we cannot just restrict the Lord. Why Lord cannot do that? Why Lord can do that? Lord can do anything, undo anything. There's a Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur very nicely say, what is called Ishvara? Kartum akartum samartha sa Ishvara. Who can do and who can undo. He is called Ishvara, Supreme Controller. So this is the very definition Vishwanath Chakravarti. So we cannot restrict the Lord because Lord can do this thing, that thing. He could have taken, he could have taken. You can say also, why Narsingadev has to come? You could have sent the Sudarshan Chakra, you would have killed. That's it, final. I don't care for Brahma's benediction. Forget about Brahma benediction. Brahma is not the supreme. I am the supreme. You could have sent Sudarshan. Prabhupada has written purport. He could have sent Sudarshan. Gone case. Parinakasvipra died at the same time. No need of all torturing all the thing. Because he comes to show the anugrahasya bhaktanam, to show this compassion, to show the mercy to Prahlad Maharaj, to give pleasure to Prahlad Maharaj, and also by these pastimes to show his ocean of compassion to all living entity. Because when we hear, we understand that Hiranyakasipu is not the password to happiness. The happiness means we have to take shelter of the Narsingadev. Then only we can protect it. Therefore, he came. He himself personally he descends. Jada jada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhisthanam adharmasya tadatmanam sudame. In another Bhagavatam verses, it says that what is that? Anugrahasya bhaktanam dehinam dehinam stita astitoho bhajate tad bhajate tad driskrida yasruta tat paro bhavat. I will show you these verses. Very beautiful verses. You remember these verses. This is a beautiful Prabhupada quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita also. This is the beautiful verses. Why Lord comes? What is the cause of divine descent? Anugrahaya bhaktana manusam deham astitoha bhajate tadrish krida yas sutva tat pare bhavet. When Lord assume a human-like body to show mercy to his devotee, he engage in such pastime as will attract those who hear about them to become dedicated. So Lord assume the form to show his mercy, anugrahaya bhaktanam, to show mercy to his devotee. He comes for Prahlad, he comes for Durba Maharaj, not for the demons. Demons is automatically, simultaneously, the pastime is gone. He never comes to Vrindavan because to kill, what is that, Putana, Bakasura, Agasura, that Sura, this Sura, Kesi. No, he comes to give pleasure to he came to give pleasure to all the gopis, all his devotee, intimate devotee. That is his whole idea. Otherwise, he has nothing to do with this material world. He don't need to come. He do not need to descend it. His agent can do it, all the things. This Hiranyakasipu and all, nothing. Even for Gajendra, he does not need to come. A demigod can also come and rescue the elephant from the crocodile attack. But he comes personally to give pleasure. And also by this pastime, everybody will be encouraged that how Lord is so merciful. He has come to show the example that how by surrendering to me, sarva dharman parityada mam ekam saranam om tum sarva papevo, I will protect. One of the beautiful verses in this regard, as you have told that why he has come, this one is a beautiful verses. Prapancha nisprapanchapi vidambayasi bhutale prapanna janatananda sondaham pratitam prabhu. This is a beautiful verse. My dear master, although you have nothing to do with material existence, nothing to do with material existence, you come to this earth and intimate material life just to expand the varieties of ecstatic enjoyment for your surrendered devotee. Only for your increase or expand the ecstatic enjoyment for your surrendered devotee. Means give pleasure to your surrendered devotee you come. Otherwise, why I should come? Why Lord has to come all the things? Nothing. Take the tribulation to come here and see this verses. There are fantastic verses. Sukobasa Govi Prasura Sadhunam Sandasama Picheswara Rakhyami Chatam Tanurdate Dharmasya Arthasya Chaivahi. Sukadev Goswami said, O king, for the sake of protecting the cows, Brahmana, demigods, devotees, and the Vedic literature, religious principle to fulfill the purpose of life, Supreme Personality of Godhead, asserts the forms of incarnation. This is the meaning. For his devotees, for his all devotee, he comes, not for demons. There's so many verses in this regard. O Supreme Controller, your Lordship is previously accepted as a fish, a horse, a tortoise, Narsingadev, a boar, a swan, and Lord Ramachandra Parsuram among the demigods, Vamanadev, to protect the entire world by your mercy. Now please protect us again by your mercy by diminishing disturbances in this world. O Krishna, best of the Jadu, we respectful offer obeisance, offer our obeisance unto you. That is the demigods are speaking when Lord is in womb of the Devaki. So this is the purpose of Lord to come to actually for the devotee's sake. So this is the purpose that Narsingadev has come to protect his devotee, I mean for give pleasure to his devotee, and he comes in this way to give pleasure. So if anybody anything, Hare Krishna, I have a different question. We pray to Lord as a Radha, Krishna, Lakshmi Narayana, Sitaram. So at first we surrender to energy of the, but why you call Shiva Parvati instead of Parvati Shiva? Who says Shiva Parvati? We say Parvati Shiva. You are not Saivites. You say Saivites, they say Parvati. Energy will come fast, then energetic, So this first is the energy of the Lord comes first. This precedence, the perfect precedence. So, those who are calling Shiva Parvati, Parvati is always come. This feminine energy comes first. Energy and energetic. The two things Prabhupada say that. So, although those both are not difference, but this energetic energy is come first. Radha, Hare means Radha, Hara. The vocative form is called Hare. We say Hare Krishna. We are invoking the mercy of the transcendental energy of the Lord. Haladini Shakti Radharani. Sometimes they say that why you are not speaking Radha? I mean, Hare Krishna, Radha is there, na? Hare. So it's transcendental energy that's Lakshmi Narayana, Sitaram. So this is the thing. So therefore we address them first. Everything comes through Radharani. We cannot direct approach to the Lord. Just like we cannot approach a very big person. We should go through his secretary, his wife, who is secretary. And so similarly, we cannot approach a God directly. We should go through his energy. We should get the mercy from Radharani. Lord is never alone. Just like a rich person is always accompanied by this entourage. His secretary is so many employees. Similarly, Lord is associate. Lord is never alone. He is with Radharani, with expansion of gopis, Lakshmi Devi, expansion, so many expansions, Subhadra, then so many acharyas, all his expansion, externally the acharya. So many expansions. So we should go through our spiritual master, through this Sada Goswami, through the acharya, through the Radha Gopi, through Radharani, like this. So Lord, therefore the energy comes first always, then the energetic. So always address. Parvati is the address first always. Then there is Lord Shiva. So Parvati is the Durga Devi, which is the superintendent of this material world, So any other questions? Okay, so thank you very much. We really, from the core of the heart, we thank you very much. Hopefully next week, Prabhu will take the classes, and that is more purifying and more also intelligent, more knowledgeable, knowledge-based, classes lecture by Prabhus. So we'll continue, hearing Prabhu classes with utmost attention, not just for the sake of Prabhupada say that very nice word. I will end up with a very nice lecture, nice instruction from Prabhupada. The Prabhupada said that the attending lecture not for the sake of lecture. We should always take away something from that. You can attend the lecture, but that is fine. That is good actually. First, attending all itself is good. But always think to learn something from that lecture. The takeaway lesson. That is very important. Just as today's classes, the takeaway lesson is that all this materialistic way of becoming happy through family, sex, through money, through all other process of become karmi, going to heavenly planet, become merging with, by yogic process also. We forget about yogic process. Through yogic process also we cannot be happy. By doing Ashtanga Yoga and all, we cannot be. Only by devotional service. So this all takeaway lesson. So always we will write down takeaway lesson. These are the process. We should not, it a wrong password to happiness. Happiness means always connected. So everybody is now seeking happiness. They will ask you, how to get happiness. You can immediately say, you connect. Shastra has rejected all other formula of becoming happy. You just connect it. Nasti mudir ajuktasana dustaksya bhavana. Chapter 2, stage 66. So in this way you can be happy. Otherwise, all happiness is a myth. Material world, the happiness is a myth. There cannot be happy. They say that, what is that? That they live, what is that say? Cinderella story and all. And they live happily afterwards. No, they never lived. They never lived, because this question is that, despite our tenacious determination to stay in this obnoxious, notorious, nefarious material world, the death will, the death will rudely reject us, eject us from this platform, from this transient platform. Despite our determination, no, I don't want to leave my family, leave money, leave my sex life, sense gratification, leave my this, that. But the death will come and rudely eject us, just like a cassette, you ejecting is, so we will be ejected very rudely by the death, very mercilessly by the death from this temporary platform. That is the blunt and fact of life. As soon as we understand, better we understand soon, better we will try to, execute, try to prevent this. So with these notes, I'm ending. Thank you very much. All goes to Srila Prabhupada, all goes to Gantharaj Bhagavatam, all goes to all the devotees assembled here. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.